The opinions expressed in the following program are not necessarily those of Eastlink Community TV, its sponsors, or partners.
All right, welcome to another episode of the Unlikely Innovators. I'm Steve Gravel, and joined with me, as always, is Mike Commito.
Yes.
Today, we're really excited. We have Gabrielle Roy, who's the founder and CEO of Stitch & Stone, joining us. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's very exciting.
Yeah, and then I should say welcome back to the show, because when we had a podcast, you were one of our first guests. So thanks for trusting us.
Oh, of course.
with your story.
Yes.
So growing up in Timmins, and sort of onto the parenthèse with a rat tail.
Yes.
Did
Who
you
didn't
ever
have a rat
yeah,
tail?
I know.
I had one.
Yeah.
It was funny, last time we talked to you, we talked about the rat tail at length, but growing up in Timmins as you did, you don't think of Timmins as like a glamorous place, but did you ever think you'd grow up and grow into the sort of fashionista that you've become now at Stitch & Stone?
No, okay, so I'm going to correct you just real quick. I'm from Kapuskasing, which is even further north. I know. So
our researchers were wrong.
That's okay.
No, but didn't you have some time at an athletics store in Timmins?
Nope, Kapuskasing.
It was always Cap?
It was always Cap.
Cap. See, I ruined him. Sorry.
Yeah,
This was my intel. I drafted the questions.
Mike.
I couldn't be more embarrassed.
Yeah, I know, it's all good. Well, it's just because Cap has a different vibe, so we definitely have to go with Cap.
Okay.
No, not at all. And I mean, I think if anybody probably sees me today, they're like, wow, she came a long way. Just because I was just very sporty. We talked about that the first time. I was, quite the tomboy, running around with a buzz cut and a rat tail and a head to toe neon jumpsuit, or
that's
like a sailor suit with shoulder pads, one or the other. It's very creative with my outfits. So no, I was very sporty at the time, and I think I always thought I was going to do something a little bit more in like the athletic kind of thing, physio, all that kind of jazz. I did have a little bit of background in working in retail, so that's kind of where the roots came from. But no, I didn't think that this would be my life.
You had said rat tail before. I just heard you refine that to buzz cut and a rat tail.
Buzz cut with a rat tail.
That even lets a sharper focus of what we were dealing with, and now,
cute.
of course, what you are now. Although we don't quite know what's under that hat sometimes.
Exactly, that's where I wear the hat a lot, because
We have questions about that later.
I had. I'll share this just in the interest of adding to this.
Please do. Get on the couch, man.
I had the one look that I did have a rat tail at one point, but I had this other look, and I might have shared this when we first spoke, but now that we're here and visually I can show it, that I had a buzz cut, but I had like a tuft of hair right here that was like spiked up. So that was probably like grade 4 in Mississauga.
Was it dyed?
No, I went through the blonde phase in like grade 9.
Because I've seen the dyed tuft. I've seen the dyed tuft before.
Oh yeah, no.
I laugh at my kids all the time because they're so cute now. They're all so well dressed, and so I'm like, if you saw us when we were kids,
but that might have been well dressed then, right?
I mean, I guess.
Everyone had those haircuts, right? Like it
I
wasn't
had the lines.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know the lines in the side?
Yeah.
Mushroom cut.
Oh yeah.
The undercut
with a perm.
Oh, never had that. I never had that.
I had it all. My mom was a hairdresser,
so
I went through many looks.
There you go.
Did you have those books, like the glamour shots, like with the? Yeah, and it's just like, I'll take this one.
Number 7. Yeah. Anyways, it was quite the journey. I made it to Sudbury, and here we are.
Fashion capital.
Yeah, exactly.
But we did want to talk to you about obviously Stitch & Stone. We're going to get into the anniversary a little bit later in the show. But obviously today, in the last 10, 15 years, like online shopping has kind of taken a bite out of brick and mortar retail, but I think you've done a really great job at blending, the brick and mortar location that you have, but also growing your digital presence and catering to online shoppers. Can you talk about how Stitch has kind of evolved and how you've been able to blend both of those worlds together?
Yeah, I mean, I think especially just since we've last spoken, which was I think 5 years ago, maybe now. Even since then, it's changed so much because I think when we spoke, it was the COVID times and online had really taken off. And I'm not gonna lie, there was 2 years there where I kind of thought like, I think we're just gonna be online. Like I was like, I just don't know if there's gonna be a place where we're gonna have a brick and mortar store anymore. But we kind of just kept plugging away with the retail, and it was a hard few years, just kind of getting out of that cycle a bit. But the truth is, like, the store here is kind of, it's what kind of breeds our community, and it's that connection we get here. So I wasn't really ready to give up on it yet.
Yeah.
And in the last year and a half, I've really done something, because we really truly could have just gone online, I think, if we wanted to.
Yeah.
But I just really believe in storefront retail, and there's still a place for it. And I think our customers really love coming into the store and getting that experience, and be able to like touch and feel and talk to humans. And so I really, in the last 18 months, kind of said, okay, we're not going that way. Let's make a shift and really try to bring more experience to the store. And I think that's really important in retail. People aren't just coming to shop anymore. There has to be something special. And I think you just always have to stay on top of that and really be creative. I think if you just kind of sit back and let things simmer, you'll kind of just fall apart. So I think we've done a really good job at staying fresh. And so we've just done different things, like we have a charm bar now, so we get a lot of people in for a charm bar, and it brings in a lot of traffic. We also moved our curbside pickup to the store, so it just brings all that traffic up to the store now. I also did a renovation in February, so I kind of just made that decision. I was like, hey, we're gonna stay for another, at least 5 years, and we want to continue keeping things exciting up there. And the store and the online world feed off each other, truthfully. People come into the store, they may be from out of town, they're like, oh, I love the store, and I'm like, well, we're online, and then they discovered us through the retail, or vice versa. So they really do feed off of each other. And
there's something really tangible about the store.
There
like
is.
It's
And
like a callback.
Yeah, and truthfully, there were times when I was like, what do I do? Like, God, give me the answer, But I would drive up to the store at night. I'm always there at night or early in the morning, and I just was like, oh, I just love this place so much. I just have such an attachment to it. I just couldn't close it. So.
Well, we had Peter Del Bianco on this season as well, and former retail owner himself. And again, he talked about how the store is the experience, and how that was what they used to differentiate themselves, was like having great customer service and being able to go in there and ask questions. I can't tell you how many times I've been to Stitch and Sewn and I've gone in and said to somebody, I need to get my wife something. I don't really know what to get. I don't want to just grab anything. And they've been great at well, what is she into? What are you thinking of? And that's been helpful to have that curated experience, so that I'm not just coming home with something that I found that's online. I don't know if you're going to like it,
but
more
special.
Here you go.
Exactly. And I've always loved retail. I mean, that's just been my world and my thing. So, and I always go back to our why. Like, why did I start this business? I started it because there was no place to experience that in the North, and like a boutique that I'd love to go to, that had the styles we love, that we could touch, feel, smell, and do all those things. And that was the reason why I started, so I was just not ready to let that go. I think it's important.
Yeah, and my wife crushes that charm bar, I'll tell you.
Yes.
When we come back, we're going to hear more from Gabe about technology and about the anniversary.
Oh, fun.
Right after this. All right, we're back with Gabe, and I wanted to sort of ask you, online presence is one thing. How else do you view technology as sort of the store now and into the future?
I mean, this is a whole other world now. It's kind of crazy, and it's kind of crazy how fast it's moving. I already feel like we're way behind, to be honest, especially with AI, which is wild. But I think it's really important. It's kind of the way everything's going to go. I have mixed feelings about it. When it first started, I was like, this is terrible. It's going to take away the humanity behind our business, but the more we learn about it, I mean, it's in the background of our business running already. It's simplifying things, automating things, making things faster and quicker, that kind of stuff. So I think we're trying to implement those things, but with keeping in touch with we're actually humans behind the business as well, and not losing our charm and our all those important things that I think people know us and like us for. So anyways, I have mixed feelings about it, but it's coming, and it's really, really important, and I think it's important to learn about it and implement it into our business, which we've already started doing like everybody else. So yeah, I mean, technology and social media, I mean, it's the way that we run our business every single day. If you guys know, I'm on there every day, and that's how we sell.
Yeah.
So for us, it's really super important. And I just learned about some other new things yesterday, and I was just blown away. And I was like, this is wild, you know? Like every 3 months, things change, evolve, and get quicker and faster and better. And so anyways, we try to stay on top of all of that stuff. And I could talk about it forever, but it's definitely, you know, underlying everywhere, and it's really, really coming quickly.
Yeah, and I think like I hear your voice in my house all the time because you're doing these great lives where you're showing off, you know, a new collection or something like that. And I guess that's part of you having to meet your customers where they are, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So you have a very intentional social media strategy as a result, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think that's my way of connecting with people every day. And it, you know, and that's my little missing piece right now is I think we've done a really good job about, I don't know how it all came about doing stories every single day. It just started to work, and I was like, well, this is how we're going to sell stuff. And it's kind of like I'm coming into people's homes every day, and they get to, you know, it's that connection I get with my customers. They can send me messages, I can respond. So I get a bit of that connection with them. I lost my train of thought, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
But anyway, yeah, that's just, anyway, sorry. I lost my train of thought of where I was going with that, but.
Maybe I'll try to bring it back. One of the questions I want to ask you in terms of like, because I know that it definitely, you know, social media took off during the pandemic because we were all at home on our phones.
Yeah.
And to Steve's point, you know, I recognize your voice in my house as well. But was it hard to maintain that after the pandemic because everyone's kind of going back into the real world?
That's a good point. It's, you know, during the pandemic, it was just like the new norm, and everybody was at home, and we had nothing else to do. But truthfully, like it takes up about 40% of my time.
Yeah, because it's a lot of work.
Social media, like, and for example, I'm going on holidays next week, and now I have to do 12 days of content before I go.
Them.
Well, because I'm gone. You know, so and it takes up a lot of time. And the other thing is you know, I do all the buying for the business, and for a business of like our volume, there's usually like 3 to 5 buyers. There's usually a team, and it's just me. So people. Our business has changed so much because of online, social media, just how we sell, that my job has changed, you know? So I get a lot every day, like, why don't I see you in the store? Where are you? Like, I'm like, it's changed. Where when I first started years ago, I just had a store, a little bit online, and I was on the floor 8 hours a day. Now I'm running this whole back-end online business, and so it's just things have really changed and evolved. My job has changed. Things have changed.
Wearing
a lot.
different hats.
Yes.
Literally, yeah.
Literally every day. Yeah.
Literally, figuratively.
Yeah.
But speaking of evolving the business, you know, we're talking right now, and by the time this airs, you know, you've already celebrated your 10th anniversary with the rodeo. That you know, there's a big buzz about that right now. But we wanted to ask you about that 10-year milestone, because that's obviously a huge milestone for any business. And just wondering if you could share what you've learned in your journey so far, you know, about the business and about, you know, how Stitch has evolved in that time.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of wild, and I think anybody who's in business probably thinks like you never think you're gonna hit 10. You're like, am I ever gonna hit 10 years? Like, are we gonna make it? And we did. But it feels like it was like it just flew by, you know. And I think the one thing I've really learned as I've gone, you know, I've also changed over 10 years. You know, I've grown and evolved as a human, and I think something that I've really, and I don't know if it comes with age, but I'm like, wow, I'm like, your business evolves, and so do you as a human, and so. You know, my business has changed because I've changed, you know, and it depends on, like, for example, my kids are older now, so they're 16. My son's going in grade 12, and my entire life with them, I've been an entrepreneur, and I've worked a lot of long hours, and you kind of, like, get to this realization where you're like, wow, I don't have much time left with my kids. Like, my son's in grade 12, right? So I haven't taken a step back, but I've really prioritized in the last 2 years, like, being home for supper, or like being home and like being able to spend time with them. So I go to work at like 6 a.m. and I work till like 3. That's like my day, so that I can pick them up after school and see them and spend time with them. That's my priority right now, because in another year from now, like, they're gone, right? And I'll work till the cows come home then. But you know, I think my priorities changed a little bit as a human, and so you know, it changes the way I run my business as well. So I think people have to understand, like, when you're running or also customers too, is just you know, there's a human behind the business, you know what I mean? Like, as much as I want to work 14 hours a day every day, I also have a family, and I also have kids that I want to see too. So, and I also think success means a different thing when you're in business. When I was younger and like when I started, I was like, it still is number driven, of course, but it was like all about growing. How many stores can I open? How busy can I be? How can go? And I did that for about 7 years. And now my success is I get to be home at 3.
Yeah.
I am like that. This is what I've always wanted. I'm like, I did it. You know, I'm like finally here. I'm like almost 50, but I did it. I get to see my kids and spend some time with them. And to me, that's my success for now, you know, and then I'll shift once they're a little bit older, but yeah, things change as you get older, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting as your priorities change, because then you have to, you know, trust more employees.
That's
The way you hire, like who you bring into the business.
And you know,
changes.
I will mention the only reason I am able to do that is because I have an incredible team behind me. Like I have girls who have been with me for 10 years.
Wow.
You know, like
that's so rare in retail.
It's amazing. And oftentimes we sit at our team meeting and there's like 6 or 8 of us, and I'm like, I've always wanted this, like a team that feels like family, that you know, cares about my business as much as I do. And I mean, truthfully, that's the secret sauce right there. And so I'm very lucky. So we're able to do it without them. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to take another break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about hats.
Sure.
All right, we're back, and we're still joined by Gabe Roy.
Still here.
She hasn't left.
She hasn't left. She's still with us, and so are we. We're still here. You always look so good in hats, and it's become a signature of yours.
Yes.
What do you tell people looking to style a hat and incorporate into that wardrobe? I'll just tell you briefly. I forever had a hard time with ball caps because I have a big head. And when I had the round brim, it made me look ridiculous. What I've been having good success with now is flat brim.
Yeah.
And it's like changed how I view hats. I never wore hats. Now I've actually incorporated them.
Yeah.
How do people incorporate hats?
Whew, that's a really good question. Most people are terrified, especially these big honkers, because they're quite a statement. And I'm just so used to it. I've always worn hats. I'm just a hat person. But I always get so many women who are like, oh, I can't. Everybody says, I can't wear a hat. I'm like, no, but you can. You just put it on your head and then you walk out the door. But I get it. It's just like getting used to seeing something this big on your head. But I always just tell people, I don't know. I'm like, you just got to give it a shot. Just put it on, and everybody looks cute in a hat. I think it's just getting used to seeing yourself with a hat. So I don't know. That's just my advice. Just try it out.
Yeah, just try it, right?
You just gotta try it, and just after a couple of days, you're like, oh yeah, I love wearing a hat.
I guess there would be a process of finding the hat that suits you.
There's also different sizes.
Yeah, you can
right?
look bad in a hat, I suppose.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's different styles.
Yeah. Well, in fact, I did. Yeah. I tried that hat on, and it didn't fit me.
But you're right? Because the straight line kind of balances out. There's all kinds of things. But I mean, this is a really big hat. When the people are scared of hats, they just start with a smaller brim, so it's not so big, and they're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, then you can graduate into bigger hats. It's more comfortable to get. So.
My wife and I went to Mexico a couple of years ago, and she brought this black floppy brimmed hat that looked like the size of like a sombrero. And she just rocked that on the beach. Like it had like a tie for around her neck.
Cute.
And it just like, it was a great statement, but like not everyone would just like dive into it. And she's not a big lady too. So like the hat was kind of wearing her, but it kind of worked, right?
It's perfect. You just gotta own it.
You just gotta pull the trigger on a hat.
I feel like I need this pep talk because like, I wear hats, but like ball caps, and I'm like, at some point, I'm 40 years old. Like, how long can I wear a backwards ball cap for before people are like, you know, you should retire that hat? And then last year, I'm very impressionable, so I watched all 6 seasons of Peaky Blinders, and I bought one of those hats.
You did?
And then everyone,
I've never seen you wear it.
Well, because everyone made fun of me.
Oh, of course, I know, but you gotta ignore the haters.
That's a fall hat, though. I think
it was a winter hat, fall hat, and then we were in Calgary, my wife and I, last year, and I had a chance to buy like a nice
Cowboy hat?
Yeah, like a
fun.
Western, and I didn't because I'm like I can't pull this off. People are gonna make fun of me.
You can at the Stampede.
But I
You start at the
Yeah.
Stampede and then you fit in with everyone, and then it's so
Okay,
fun.
so now I gotta get another hat because
Yeah.
I'm thinking more
Those are
that
cute. I love those
my girls are looking at me and it's like, is he
Sunglasses,
still wearing a
aviators, and
backwards hat?
and a hat?
Yeah.
A cowboy hat?
Okay.
I think you could do it, man.
Yeah.
But you don't, like, to me, you do no wrong stylistically, so I just,
Oh,
I think you could
that's
do
high
it.
praise from you.
Just don't wear it with your bolo tie, which I've seen you wear.
I've retired that,
Yeah.
but it's still nice.
Yeah.
But you've been so generous with your time, especially you alluded to you've got to do all these stories before you, and all these reels before you
Gotta sell
go.
some stuff,
One thing
yeah.
we did want to ask you because we've talked about 10 years up until now, and we know that you're going to evolve the business as you evolve as a human. But if you could crystal ball it, what do you think the next 5 years, 10 years is going to look like for you in Stitch and Stone?
Well, she signed a 5-year lease, right? So-
Well, yeah,
A renovation,
yeah,
at
yeah,
least,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see myself closing storefront anytime soon. I think my customers will be very happy to hear that. It's funny because I almost feel like I'm going backwards a little bit because I'm just getting so many people saying, have always said, open a Stitch here, open a Stitch there.
Yeah.
And COVID kind of stopped me. And I was also just tired. But now that my kids are getting a little older, I'm like, I wonder if the next year or so, now that my kids are a little more independent, there's some really cool places I would love to open some more Stitch storefronts, which I think would be really cool. It would also just really tie into our online and give some good brand awareness in some cool places. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm like, wow, I've been thinking about it for the last couple of weeks. I'm like, I can't believe I'm thinking about this again, some newfound energy, and we'll see. And then of course, I don't think our online will go anywhere. That's just going to continue to grow. I'm very curious. I keep telling my girls, I'm like, I'm just wondering in the next 5 years what this looks like, like with just all this new technology and stuff. So we'll see. We'll talk to you guys in another 5 years and we'll see where I am. Hopefully I'm still here.
Could you imagine if our show was still around?
Imagine.
If we hit the 10-year mark for the Unlikely Innovators,
You guys are on
you'll
like
have to be
breakfast
back.
television or you're in Toronto now. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
I didn't tell you this, but there was talk we were going to replace you because we went and did a shoot at Stitch and Stone as
Who's we?
Well, I'll get to that point, but we were at Stitch and Stone. I think it was in February. I don't know if it was. It might have been before the renovation, maybe January.
Yeah.
But for the Hanson Venture Lab, the new entrepreneurship space at Cambridge,
Yeah.
Gabe was generous enough to give us some of her time and talk about her journey. And the videographer Matt was talking about how there's no breakfast shows in Sudbury. And this is right
That's
around
true.
when
We're like, we
breakfast.
should do a breakfast show. It'd be so fun.
Yeah,
And
that'd
they
be
just
great.
they
Without me.
unfortunately let go of Meredith and Sid on breakfast television, and I'm like, I could be your Sid, I could be the sports guy.
Yeah. I'll be Meredith, the fashionista.
Yeah.
It'd be so fun.
And I'll be a distant memory, but I think it'd be.
We'll invite you to come on.
Special guest to
guest spots. I would crush guest spots. Bring me in as like a weird expert on something that I'm interested in. I'm a lover of fine things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
There you go.
yeah, I'd love to do that.
With your
Maybe
flat
I'm in
hat.
on that. No?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm totally
Retire himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fun. Well, thank
No,
you.
that's great. So
It's been fun.
I think one of the things that we could think about brands. We've been having people on like Bury Down Paint and Bianco's.
Yeah, nice.
I think Stitch and Stone is going to, I don't want to jinx it, but is going to be one of those things that in a few more years we start thinking about as something we grew up with, right? And I think there's going to be a generation of people that are going to look back and all you need is a good jingle now.
Yeah, I just need a jingle. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe you don't. I think not every business needs a jingle, right?
Yeah.
But I was singing that Bury Down Paint one
I'm sure
year.
you'd be happy to write one.
A Stitch and Stone jingle?
It may stay on the
please.
cutting room
Yeah,
floor.
maybe for a fee.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I think you have a lot to be proud of, and we definitely thank you again for coming on, and we'll hope.
I can't even believe it's already been 5 years. Can
Yeah.
you believe that? It went by so fast.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but anyway.
We'll see you in
the
another
next 5 years
5.
spring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck, guys.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Oh, always.
thanks.
Thank you.